And now I'd like to introduce my speaker, who is our defensive back coach, also a Derby High School graduate, of course, which I've coached. And he's also played football and graduated from Southern Connecticut, Jim Norman.
Thank you, Coach Carmen. I'd like to start off, as everyone else did, by thanking the Rotary Club. This is such a wonderful event. It's such a wonderful opportunity to continue a tradition that everyone else has talked about, and it's such a meaningful time in such young lives. I can remember not too long ago, 8 years ago, when I sat right at the same table. And I remember having sweaty palms and tapping feet, being really nervous. Had nothing to do with the game. It was all about getting up and making the speech, the same one I'm getting up to make today. It's really incredible to sit down and think about why we're even here. We're here because there are two amazing football programs in the state of Connecticut. That's the whole reason we're here. We don't do this every single week with just every team. This is the Derby Shelton game. Two programs that have done so much during over 100 years. Over 100 years. Two programs that actually get to come together every Thanksgiving for over 90 years now, play one another. I'd like to reiterate a little bit of what Mr. Walsh said in the relationships that you meet and the people that you come to hold dear. When I was at Derby, there was a couple guys I played against. Coach Roy and the other coaches will remember him, Coach Piccarillo, a guy by the name of Kofi Wilson, who was a tailback, and another one, the Shelton fans I'm sure all know, Danny Orlovsky. Now, when I was here, much as the players now, a lot of you guys don't look at each other. It's that fierce intensity we all come to know. But trust me, as the years go on, you will see each other. You will remember this time, this dinner, this game. I went on, as Coach Carmen said, to play at Southern Connecticut, and one of my best friends by the time I was done was a tailback by the name of Kofi Wilson, who was such good friends with Danny that we became best friends. Danny also, I talked to him before I came, Coach, and he wanted to remind you that his 2000 team was the best ever here. I was supposed to plug that in for him. I don't know. It truly is an honor to be welcomed back after 8 years and reflect on how much Valley football and those relationships I've made during the times shaped and molded the person that I am today. Like so many in our great All-American Valley, I have a mother, two aunts, and an uncle, along with both grandparents that graduated from Derby. And now they did so during Coach Lou DeFlippo's tenure, so naturally I was all but born with a helmet on by the time I was 2. It's amazing just the stories growing up you hear as a child. And, it's a funny story. When my youngest aunt decided to move across the river, all she did was cross a bridge and buy a house in the town next door. And it was like she was the original Benedict Arnold herself. I couldn't find a bigger traitor in all the world to my family. On a more reflective note, this type of behavior I talk about in fun is really what defines the type of people that make up our great communities. Passionate people. It's not just the helmets on babies I talk about, or the Mighty Mites that put on a helmet in Pop Warner when they're 5 years old, or decals all over every windshield you see driving all over the valley. It's the tremendous support for youth activities like Pop Warner, like Biddy basketball, and great events like this luncheon that we're all sitting at here today. It's amazing how, for something like this, all you have to do is call it the game. When I was there, it was the game, just as Mr. Walsh said, and I think I heard someone else just refer to it as the game. You go into the game. Who won the game? Doesn't matter who you are. A lot of you seniors, I'm sure, are going off to college. Right around Thanksgiving, when you come home, even if you don't go to the game, even if it's something that's you missed it or whatever, you still, hey, Ma, who won the game? Every year when I came back, or if I was at Southern and we had playoffs, so I couldn't be there, I'd call her up right around noontime or 1 o'clock. Mom, who's winning the game? You know, it's just something that you always hold true to your heart. It's an identity that we all have. It's about having something of our own that never leaves. It's known throughout the entire state, no matter where you go. It's the tradition, the pride, and that identity we all hold true just as much as we do our education, our religion, and our work ethic in the Valley. Football is the ultimate metaphor for the backbone of our two great towns for over a century. Not just the teams and the game, but what they represent. We stand for great virtues, undying loyalty, the love of family, and great respect for our neighbor. And my personal favorite, the toughness and excellence that we all set forth to accomplish. Just say it. Say it anywhere you go. Valley football. Say it anywhere. And anyone who knows anything about the game will answer this. Tough as nails, best in Connecticut. They'll all say it. Playing in college, I always followed the guys I played against and became great friends with the guys that I played against at school. At SCSU, it was just amazing how several guys who hated each other, like I talked about before, could become such good friends and could go on to build such lasting relationships. Coach Brad Piccirillo, hated him in high school. Went to his wedding this summer. Congratulations, Coach. When I went there, I had, like I said, the privilege of playing with a couple Valley guys, one of whom Kofi from Shelton. And, it was amazing how it didn't take long. Maybe second, third day I was there, we were the guys who clicked. Because everyone's coming in from New Jersey, New York, everywhere else, Florida, Maryland, all up and down the East Coast. And the guys that all seemed to rally around each other were myself, Kofi, another Ansonia gentleman that I had the pleasure of playing with. We were the ones that got together first day, sit together. We didn't talk much, but we just sat together. And that says a lot about how much this game means to the whole community. The Valley Boys. I'll tell you what, though, when I was there, one thing that says no one could match our intensity. And that's a lot like how it is at both schools. When I was there, I joke with friends about, I didn't play college ball because I was the best athlete. I went on to become a second-team All-American and an all-conference player. It wasn't because I was a great athlete. It was because from the time I was 4 years old, I learned in Derby, just as Shelton kids do, you never quit. Anything you do, you never stop. It's always about that will to win, that strive to exceed. It's excellence. That's what we all strive for. This competitive drive you learn playing in our two great programs, along with the care and the passion for succeeding that our entire community demands, stays with you your entire lives. Use it, seniors. Use it. You'll find out how much more fulfilling and joyful life will be when you use this. They are tools that have been given to you, whether you realize it or not. They call us the All-American Valley. And when I was playing on my senior day, I didn't really take it in. So one thing I heard several people say, seniors, both sides, I implore you. For me it was always during the Star-Spangled Banner. Whether it was in high school, whether it was Pop Warner, high school, college, arena after that. It was always during the Star-Spangled Banner. That's the time when you just close your eyes, smell the air, listen to the sounds. You will appreciate it, I promise you. Open your eyes. Take a look at the brothers you played it with your entire lives right next to you. And I promise you the day will be that much more fulfilling. Just as it has been for every single person in this room. Thank you.